The following is a non-profit fan-based audio drama. Warrior is owned by Terry Brooks and Del Rey Publishing. Please support the official release.
Jack McCall was 22 years old, standing in a campus parking lot. Graduation over. Parents and sister are come and gone, packed up and ready to leave for Hopewell, when the stranger approached. Part of him thought it would be a good idea to turn and walk the other way when he saw the man. Well over 6 feet and close to 300 pounds, he looked as if he could deconstruct someone who was less than 6 feet by several inches and nowhere near 200 just by giving him a hard look. He appeared to Jack to be Native American, with a face that might have been carved from granite, with his massive body barely concealed under patched-up camo and worn combat boots, both of which suggested military experience. He was of indeterminate intentions and wholly intimidating, but Jack stood his ground because he had stopped running from things that frightened him by the time he turned 14.
Are you Jack McCall, Kemshaw?
Jack nodded uncertainly. Kemshaw? He brushed back his mop of blonde hair where it drooped down over his forehead.
Do I know you?
You do not. I am called Two Bears, Oli Chamonix in the language of my people. Now we are acquainted. Where can we sit and talk?
Jack did not feel like engaging in a conversation with this Hulk, but he also suspected he could not avoid it.
What do we have to talk about?
He asked. Two Bears gave him a look.
That is what I wish to discuss with you. Why don't we get on with it?
Chastened by the rebuke, and by now a bit curious, Jack led the other out of the parking lot and onto one of the campus quads where empty branches occupied shady patches of lawn under century-old oaks and elms. The campus was practically deserted. The bulk of students, parents, professors, and other graduation invitees departed. Jack would have been gone as well if he hadn't stopped to help his roommates carry down their gear and pack their cars. He now found himself regretting his Good Samaritan act. Sitting side by side on a bench, each turned slightly to face the other, they spent a moment in silence before Two Bears spoke.
You don't have a plan for the future,
He said, making it a statement rather than a question. Jack nodded.
And you know this how?
Straight-faced, Two Bears tapped his temple.
Ethnic intuition. I have a proposition for you. One that would give you a direction in your life that you currently lack. One that would provide you with a worthy purpose and an assurance that you would be helping a world in great need of assistance.
Jack smiled.
You want me to become a politician?
Two Bears shook his head.
You are not listening. I use the words help the world, not feed at the expense of the world.
Look,
Jack said. The lack of direction or purpose in this conversation was making him impatient.
why don't you just tell me what you want?
I want you to travel to Wales for a week and speak with the lady. I have tickets for your journey in my pocket. You would leave in 3 days.
Jack stared.
You're kidding, right?
Two Bears stared back, his face impassive. Jack blinked.
Who is the lady?
That is what you are going to Wales to find out.
But I don't want to go to Wales.
Two Bears gave a shrug of his massive shoulders.
You just think you don't want to go to Wales. You think there is no reason for it, but you are wrong. There is every reason for you to go. College is over, boyhood is finished, and what lies ahead is unknown. But you must embrace it. You must learn for yourself what it is. My explaining it to you would be insufficient. Take the tickets and fly to Wales. Speak with the lady. Pick would tell you the same thing I am telling you. It is necessary for you to go.
Pick? How do you know?
Once upon a time, the fairy creature Pick, who was then and is still the guardian of Sinisippi Park in the town you grew up in, helped you to find a way to defeat a dragon. You, in turn, helped him to save the park. Yours has been a special life, Jack McCall. You have found the magic in the world and embraced it. You have fought against the worst of it and channeled your efforts to a good purpose. Did you think this would be the end of it? Did you think your involvement with the magic would stop there?
Jack shook his head, now fully flummoxed.
But how do you know all of this? How is it that you know about Pick and the dragon in Sinisippi Park?
It is my business to know.
Two Bears rocked back an inch or two and then leaned closer.
Sinisippi Park and much of the land that surrounds it is my ancestral home. It was the homeland of my people, the Sinisippi, for centuries. Now they are all gone, and I am all that is left. The magic that was once ours and that once protected our homelands is still there, but it is threatened. So it is given me to protect what remains of the legacy of my people and of the other Native Americans throughout this part of the world. To do so, I serve the lady.
But who is the lady?
Jack practically shouted, his frustration reaching a new level. Two Bears did not react.
We've come full circle, Kemsho. The answer to your question is to be found in Wales. You must go there to find it.
Jack was about to walk away, wanting no part of any of this. He was not even sure it was true. There was all sorts of ways Two Bears could have learned of Pick and the Dragon in the park and himself. To just blindly agree and fly off to Wales meant he would have to put all caution and good sense aside and throw himself on fate and blind trust. And yet...
What does Kemsho mean?
He asked. Two Bears gave a small nod of approval.
In the language of my people, it means warrior. It describes what I think you are.
Jack hesitated, suddenly uncertain. The big man's words were persuasive and did not feel like lies or dissembling. Although wild and impossible, they nevertheless spoke a truth and he was reluctant to embrace. Once he had not believed in fairy magic, back when he was a boy. Once he had not believed in dragons and elves and magic of any sort. All that seemed far away now, but had he really stopped believing in things that had once seemed so real? Had he really stopped believing that he had beaten back the cancer that had riddled every part of his body and saved his life by doing so?
One thing more,
Two Bears said quietly.
The lady knew of your destiny back when you were 13 and dying. She was responsible for keeping the dragon from you. She was the one who summoned Pick to act on her behalf. That was how we found you and became your friend.
He rose abruptly. Reaching into a pocket in his camo shirt, he pulled out an envelope.
There are your tickets. Use them if you choose, but only by using them will you know if what you've heard is true.
He began to walk away, but Jack was on his feet now, holding the envelope he didn't even realize he had accepted.
Wait.
If you choose not to go, if you decide not to seek out the lady, you will wonder for the rest of your life if you should have. Be at peace, Kemsho.
He walked across the quad, without looking back, and disappeared between the campus buildings, leaving Jack staring after him.